Mr. S.R. Patil, Honourable Minister for Information Technology, Biotechnology, Science, Technology, Planning, Government of Karnataka. Mr. Srivatsa Krishna, the rock star of introductions, I think, Secretary of IT, BT and ST, Government of Karnataka. Dr. Omkar Rai, Director General, Software Technology Parks of India. Mr. R. Chandrasekhar, President-elect of NASSCOM. Mr. Mittal, President of NASSCOM, if he's still there. Other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, I hope that covers everybody. I'm delighted to be present here at the BangaloreITE.Biz 2013 Awards. I was very touched when Mr. Patil came to Delhi to convey the Chief Minister's invitation personally to come and be part of this evening, enjoy the wonderful performance, truly outstanding performance by our contemporary classical musicians, and of course to address this august audience. Let me first of all congratulate in advance all the winners who are being felicitated today. Your dazzling diversity of achievements, cutting across the entire spectrum of information technology, displays our national prowess in this sector. It also showcases Bangalore's and Karnataka's premier position on the IT map of India and the world. Now, as an incurable optimist about India's prospects in the 21st century, it's doubly an honor to be present here at the flagship event of the IT industry in the city of Bangalore, rightly known as the Silicon Valley of India. The manner in which, over a period of 3 decades, this region has emerged as one of the major global hubs of the information age is a matter of intense pride for every patriotic Indian. Had Nehruji been around today, I have no doubt that he would have hailed the IT industry of Bangalore as a great example of one of his temples of modern India. The numbers alone give you an idea of the rise of Bangalore in the IT world. The city is home to 3,500 companies, which constitute 1/5 of the total number of IT companies in India. Exporting IT and IT-enabled services is not a new phenomenon for Bangalore's industry. I understand that Bangalore alone constitutes far more than 1/3 of the IT exports of India. Some 1,35,000 crores are exported from here in services. According to NASSCOM, in fiscal year 2012, the exports of the Indian IT BPO industry stood at 69 billion. So 1/3 of that is yours. Revenues from software and services comprise of nearly 87% of the total IT industry revenues. Impressive as these statistics are, this is not a story about numbers alone. The success of Bangalore has played a profound role in changing global perceptions of India. It's an outstanding example of how technology is one of the most significant drivers of cultural change in our world, and this idea forms a backdrop of the theme on which I'd like to share my thoughts with you today. Now, while the role of technology in human evolution has always been significant throughout human history, the 21st century world sees us more dependent on technology than ever before. Just as prehistoric man was largely at the mercy of nature, one can be understandably forgiven for thinking that 21st century man and woman are at the mercy of technology. It's axiomatic that in this modern world, the power to learn and the right to know are inextricably linked to information technology. Just think of the microphone that I'm using to ensure you can hear me, or the telephone calls, SMSs, and emails that the organizers use to invite me here and to make the necessary arrangements. My mere presence here today, like yours, owes much to information technology. Now, the Swiss writer and playwright Max Frisch once dismissed technology as the art of arranging the world so that we need not experience it. Although I too am a writer when I'm not wearing my politician hat, I do not share Mr. Frisch's perspective. Today, on the contrary, technology is absolutely essential to experience the world and to really participate in it. And though mankind cannot live by technology alone, the information revolution has, to use the language of the computer age, upgraded the lives of millions of people. Today, technology is the source of some of our greatest marvels, our cleverest comforts, as well as some of our deepest collective anxieties. The smartphone that I hold in my hand, and I carry two, gives me access through the internet to almost the sum total of human knowledge. This realization leaves me excited, empowered, anxious, and humbled all at the same time. The importance of technology as the primary driver of economic growth and national prosperity cannot be overemphasized. All the varied challenges that the world, and India in particular, face in the 21st century, from securing enough food and water for our burgeoning population to managing the explosive growth in our urban spaces. I mean, sitting in Bangalore traffic is itself such an extraordinary emblem of that problem. From tackling malnutrition and poverty to eradicating diseases and illiteracy, all this is unprecedented in their scale and scope. But the vast majority of these challenges that exist before the Indian nation are likely to have technology-driven solutions, provided that our often fractious and sometimes dysfunctional politics allows us to find and adopt them. See, the stark reality of the world today is that you can tell the rich from the poor by their internet connections. Today, the poverty line is linked to the high-speed digital line, the fiber optic line, all the lines that exclude all those who are literally not plugged into the possibilities of our new world. There is a market gap between the technological haves and have-nots, between those who know and those who don't, between countries and within them. This gap, of course, has come to be called the digital divide. In fact, some years ago at the UN, I observed that the information revolution was rather unlike the French Revolution because it's a revolution with a lot of liberty, some fraternity, and no equality. But part of the Indian miracle in our times is that despite being a developing country, we have put ourselves on the right side of the digital divide. Our prowess in information technology is at the heart of our ability to find solutions to the problems of underdevelopment. Information has always been empowering. A simple watch gives you information about the time that someone without a watch did not possess and needed to turn to you for. So also possessing expertise in information technology has made the world turn to India and particularly to Bangalore. Now, the theme I thought I would address today was information technology as a vehicle of India's soft power. Soft power, as you know, is a concept developed by my friend Joe Nye of Harvard to describe the ability to attract and co-opt rather than to coerce, use force, or give money as a means of persuasion. And simply, it's the ability of a country to attract other countries, societies, and individuals because of its culture, its political values, and foreign policies. This was the theme of the TED talk that Srivatsa Krishna alluded to. And of course, a lot of countries do this successfully in an institutionalized manner. Joe and I wrote about the States, but the Alliance Française is all about French cultural power. The British Council is an exercise in British soft power. The Beijing Olympics in Chinese soft power. Americans have the Voice of America and the Fulbright scholarships. But the fact is that probably Hollywood, Coke, Levi's Jeans, MTV, and McDonald's have done far more for American soft power around the world than any specifically US government activity. And the same has happened with Indian culture and traditions. That was what that theme of my speech was all about. So, in using our culture, political views, and so on, but simply in being ourselves in India, we have a compelling story to tell, conjuring up images of the global imagination by the mere mention of our country's name. In fact, it was only when engineers and doctors and scientists from India moved to countries abroad for further studies or research that the technological capacity of India was noticed. As a result, Indians have become Silicon Valley's most successful immigrants. I think 1 out of every 3 companies founded in Silicon Valley has an Indian co-founder. Many Indians have created a name for themselves as tech entrepreneurs and even as tech investors. But all of this, of course, is possible because the US is a country that allowed a resource-rich and knowledge-driven society with a pro-business regulatory environment to become the preeminent economic and cultural power of the world.